Hey guys, I'm Tommy with StudioScents. Thanks for stopping by again for another fragrance review. Today we're going to be talking about a very popular, very well-known, very liked, and for good reason, fragrance, and that is Coach for Men. I like it so much that the big bottle that I had is completely gone. I've ordered another, but right now I'm using a 15 ml. Now, one of the things that's great about this little guy is you can carry him almost anywhere. If you have a backpack or a man purse or whatever kind of bag that you carry your stuff in, if you're going to the gym or going to school or just going anywhere and you want to carry a spare bottle, this is a perfect size. I wish all fragrances, all really good fragrances, came in the 15 ml bottle. I would grab them up before anything because it's just the right amount, fits in the palm of your hand. Coach for Men has been around for a while. It's been through the circuit. It's had its ups and downs, but it has been one fragrance that has maintained its popularity from day one. A lot of people have the wrong idea about Coach. They think of Coach in terms of women's purses, women's jackets, a line of women's, accessories, wallets, purses, things like that. Not true. Coach has been around for a long time and they make a lot of things. Their primary focus is on high end, like really high quality. That's why you'll find Coach knockoffs almost everywhere. And that's why also when you order Coach online, you got to be a little bit careful. Not so much nowadays. Early on, there was a lot of knockoffs, and you'll find Coach knockoffs even now, because even though you can buy this at a decent price, it's more of kind of a midline in terms of price, because it's such a well-known and well-liked, well-received fragrance. Now this one doesn't have it, but the 50 ml and the 100 ml bottle do have that very well-known tag, the leather tag that says Coach, that differentiates Coach from anything else. That's kind of its tagline, or what it's known for. And then of course the very well-known icon, logo, horse, and covered buggy. One of the things that I really like about Coach in a nutshell is its use of amber. Now amber and ambroxan, labdanum has become highly popular in the 90s, the 2000s. It can either be overused or underutilized. I think the blending in Coach is absolutely perfect. It's very green, it's very citrusy, it's very aromatic, fresh fragrance. It's semi-sweet in the beginning, very bright and fresh in the opening because you've got green nashi pear, you've got kumquat and bergamot. Three items that are rarely together in a fragrance, and I think that's one thing that sets Coach apart, is that use of the kumquat and the green nashi pear that gives you that super bright, semi-sweet, very citrusy, juicy opening. Going down into the heart, you've got cardamom, you've got a little bit of the floral with geranium, and a little bit of the spice with coriander. And those three work really well in the heart accord. These are all held aloft or held up in the base, kind of a soft, musky, leathery, springy suede note, and then of course ambergris or ambroxan. Many of you might remember James Franco in the commercial spot for Coach. I think he really embodies kind of the idea of an all-around, all-American, cool kind of guy. Coach for Men's been out for a couple of years now. It is this is the Eau de Toilette. It was released in 2017, and it is best worn just like that. Gotta love that. Really, when you start picking up on the green nashi pear, that's that bright note that really kicks your eyes open in the beginning, in the opening, and the kumquat. Kumquat adds a layer of complexity, almost like violet and rhubarb, kind of a combination of the two. So you've got your sweet, but your tart a little bit in there. And that bergamot, of course, the fresh, juicy, bright, sunshiny citrus, along with a cardamom, a coriander heart, and a base, of course, where you've got that nice Haiti vetiver, the suede, and the ambergris or ambroxan. Coach is one of my all-time favorite fragrances for men. It is an easy grab. It is a mass appealing. It's one of those, if you'd have in whatever area or location that you keep your fragrances, I would say dedicate one shelf to mass appealing, classic, crowd pleasers, and Coach would be at the very forefront of that lineup. as it's earned that spot. In terms of age appropriation, I can see anyone from 14 on up appropriately wearing Coach. It fits very nicely in with a younger crowd. When I say younger, to me younger is anyone from 14 to 35. I don't think you start getting old until you start feeling old, which is I guess around 65-ish or whatever. So to me, yeah, young crowd. It's definitely not, I wouldn't call it a club banger. It's appropriate in the club. It's just kind of, it rides a nice kind of median level. It's probably in the same wheelhouse, I would say, as fragrances like, what is it, First Instinct Blue, Abercrombie & Fitch Fierce, First Instinct, Jimmy Choo Man, kind of in the same vein or wheelhouse as those fragrances. In fact, a lot of people have compared Coach to Jimmy Choo Man, that totally different fragrances. It's just the fact that Jimmy Choo Man has fruit in it. It's got what? Honeydew melon, pineapple, and then it of course carries the same or similar base note of suede. But when you smell them, they're completely different. For one, Coach is a lot sweeter than Jimmy Choo Man is. And it also has kind of a tobacco-y vibe or smell. Something about the way that the notes blend together put me in mind of a light tobacco smell, but a very pleasant, sweet, almost like a Swisher Sweet kind of smell. Nothing off-putting or super strong, just kind of a reminiscent of a tobacco note. In terms of economy, Coach comes right in there at the midline pricing. Right now you can get a 100 ml bottle for about, actually under $35. Fragrance.net, Perfume.com, both have them under $35, $34.44 for a 100 ml bottle. You can get a tester bottle if you don't really care for the box and mind something being manhandled prior to you getting it, for even less. So price is a no-brainer in terms of a quick, easy pickup. It would be great for an everyday grab. Great for a gift for someone, like a wedding gift or a birthday gift or a Christmas gift coming up. It would work great within all of those venues. The only complaint, and I don't really want to call it a complaint, we'll just say challenge. I like the word challenge a lot better. Meaning challenge indicates that it can be overcome, or there's ways that you can overcome or work around it. But one thing that you want to do to work around some of the weaknesses that Coach has, and part of the weakness is its projection. You don't get a tremendous amount of projection. Like I sprayed, 3 or 4 sprays just a moment ago on, and this morning when I got up, I sprayed an additional 3 or 4 sprays in the beginning of the morning. And as that dried down, it wasn't, in projections, probably 45 minutes to an hour, hour and a half, and it's not that huge of a radius. We're talking about a foot and a foot and a half instead of that typical 3 feet that I like to see in a strong signature fragrance. So your projection, your sillage isn't tremendous. The longevity as well is not something that I would say is fantastic with Coach. It's more along the price point that you see Coach now. You get about $34 worth of longevity out of it, honestly. For the kind of price we were being asked to pay for Coach when it first came out, wasn't worth it. You're looking at, on a standard day with no water spritzing and no sweating, you're looking at a basic longevity of about 3 to 4 hours. And that is with a reduced sillage. That's what I'm talking about, reduced. I mean, that is within like almost a skin scent. Extremely manly, masculine, pleasant scent from Coach right out of the atomizer. Not extremely great with projection and longevity. So that's the only knock I would say against Coach. However, that is one of the reasons that I recommend getting it in a smaller, like 15 or 50 ml bottle, something that you can carry around with you, because it is definitely not going to be an all-day scent. If you're in an event that's going to be going on all day long and you want to consistently smell fresh, feel fresh, and have that sillage follow you around, that projection follow you around, it's something you're going to want to spray at least 3 times during that 8-hour day to keep that projection going and to keep it fresh. One of the things that I really like about Coach, God, I just love that opening note, is that the opening note makes a promise that it actually keeps. I mentioned a moment ago that you get that nashi pear, that kumquat sweetness, that juicy explosion, that semi-sweet that is reminiscent of a little bit of, it's kind of the way the ambergris or ambroxan mixes with the fruit, and it almost makes a kind of a, it's almost like a synthesized tobacco smell. It's a light tobacco fragrance, which to me, I would prefer to be, gently introduced into a light tobacco fragrance than to be bombarded or overloaded with a heavy tobacco fragrance. So I really like the fact that that mimics that little bit of a tobacco. It's probably a portion of the suede, giving it a little bit of a huskier, muskier sensation and giving it that kind of mimicking the tobacco smell or sensation. With the longevity and projection the way that it is now, that's not saying a tremendous amount, but that is one benefit. If you really like the opening of Coach for Men, you're going to like the mid and the dry down as well, equally as well. That's going to wrap up my review of Coach for Men. Thanks so much for stopping by. I appreciate you watching. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below. As always, thank you so much for your support. I'm Tommy with StudioScents, and I'll see you next time.